Johnny Depp, Narcissist or Empath. Part 12. Further views of others. We now turn to additional evidence that has been provided in relation to the views of Johnny Depp from other people to determine what this tells us about him. Johnny Depp's former talent agent testified that the actor's star power dimmed due to bad behaviour on set and his anger issues. Tracy Jacobs represented Depp for 30 years, until 2016 when he fired her, and said while representing Depp he became the biggest star in the world and that he was extraordinarily talented. Asked why Depp fired her, Jacobs said, "I really don't know. He terminated essentially everyone in his life, so I was along for the ride, I guess." The suggestion that Depp arbitrarily dismisses people might suggest a reckless approach, exhibiting a sense of entitlement and lack of accountability. Of course, it has to be kept in mind that Jacobs might be representing sour grapes as a consequence of the termination of the arrangement. The court was read part of a deposition by Depp in which he suggested she was a co-conspirator with somebody he sued, and that she was just after the money. Jacobs said that it was all untrue. Is that the truth-seeking trait exhibited by Johnny Depp, or is it the manifestation of paranoia? Asked if Depp was a difficult client, she said, "He wasn't initially, and it became far more complicated in the last 10 years of my representing him." Jacobs said the reason was Depp's unprofessional behaviour. A phrase, she said, covers a multitude of things. She said showing up late to set, lack of accountability. He did so consistently on virtually every movie. I would get yelled at. Manifestation of ignited fury, perhaps. I never said to him, "You're a difficult client," but I was very honest with him and said, "You've got to stop doing this. This is hurting you." And it did. Even after speaking with Depp, he did not correct course. Is this the rigidity of a narcissist unable to shift? Is it him exhibiting a sense of entitlement? According to Jacobs, Depp's change in behaviour was due to his increased use of alcohol and drugs. Might it therefore be that rather than it being narcissism at play, that it was the external stressor of the alcohol and drugs that was causing him to behave in this manner? Heard's lawyer, Eileen Braderhoff, asked if Depp romanticised drug culture. Jacobs said yes. Braderhoff asked, "Mr. Depp had fundamental issues with anger?" Jacobs said yes. Braderhoff asked, "Did that worsen over the time of your representation or relatively the same?" Yes, it worsened over time. This again is another individual identifying that Depp has anger issues. As I've explained, Depp, like many other people, anger is a narcissistic trait. It doesn't make one a narcissist. Anger can manifest in healthy circumstances, as I've explained in my book, Fury. However, should it be the case that it appears repeatedly as the manifestation of fury, then that is a narcissistic response. Or rather, that is the response of a narcissist. Jacobs agreed that Depp was lacking patience. An absence of patience is a lack of accountability and haughty behaviours when he didn't get his needs met, and that he started using an earpiece so people could feed him his lines. Does that show again a lack of accountability? Jacobs said, "Initially, crews loved him because he was always so great with the crew. Facade management or genuine emotional empathy. But crews don't love sitting around for hours and hours waiting for the star of the movie to show up. Could it therefore be that when he was nice to them, that was just facade management, and that when he essentially had got people on side and asserted control over them, his narcissism dictated that he need no longer do so? Hence, he wouldn't turn up on time, exhibiting a lack of accountability and sense of entitlement. Or is it the case that the manifestation of his behaviours was out of genuine emotional empathy for the crew, and the failings later was a consequence of the external stressor of drugs and alcohol? The problems included filming the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean film in Australia, where his fingertip got sliced off and filming had to be shut down for several weeks. Jacobs said that she had numerous conversations with top Disney executives and flew to Australia twice to try and smooth things over. The court was shown an email that Depp sent to Jacobs while in a rage that Heard was filming London Fields. The court had previously heard that Depp objected to her doing any nude scenes, but they did one for her, only with the body double. Depp emailed Jacobs, in capitals, "It must be shut down, or I will sue them 18 ways from fucking Sunday. These people are nobodies in this business, and they should be made to understand that we will ruin them instantly." Is this the manifestation of the narcissistic trait of jealousy with regard to Heard's doing nude roles? Does this amount to a threat to his control, and therefore this is ignited fury manifesting with this tirade in an email asserting control both directly over his agent and indirectly over the people that he dismissively refers to as nobodies? The evidence may well support that. In a follow-up email, Depp wrote, "I need you to go to the fucking Hanleys, which was the film producer, regarding London Fields, ! They're going to be premiering it at the London-Toronto Film Festival. It is in Amber's contract. There will be no nudity." Again, is this a manifestation of ignited fury resulting in the assertion of control in this hostile fashion? Or might it be that this is genuine emotional empathy where he's trying to protect his wife with regard to the no nudity? But why could he not leave it for her to raise this? Does he see himself as some kind of white knight charging in to save her? According to Jacobs, the email showed Depp was trying to get me to kill it, referring to the film and doing everything to shut this down. Asked about Depp's reputation now, she said, "These lawsuits don't help." Jacobs said that in early 2016, Depp was in financial desperation and that she emailed him with good news about a loan. She said, "We were able to secure a loan for him through Bank of America when Ed White, Depp's business manager, couldn't get him any money, and it was very helpful for him." Around that time, Depp signed a deal for $5 million for appearing in Murder on the Orient Express and was paid $25 million for Pirates 5. By that point, Depp was not the biggest movie star in the world, Jacobs said. She said his star had dimmed. Given the reputation he'd acquired due to his lateness and other things, people were talking, and the question was out there about his behaviour, adding that included drug and alcohol use. Asked why Depp needed the loan in January 2016, Jacobs said that he came to her office and asked for $20 million because he needed the money. Sense of entitlement, demanding behaviour. She said he needed the money, he just expected us to do it. Radehoff said, he came in and said, "I want you to get $20 million for me." Jacobs said, actually it was, "I want you to give me $20 million. The question was not asked as a loan. Sense of entitlement, ordering around, lack of accountability perhaps. Two other executives told Depp they were not in a position to give our clients that kind of money. We are not a bank. Depp responded that they should give him the money because he'd made a lot of money for us, Jacobs said, adding that no other client made such a demand. Does this again show entitled diva-like behaviour? Bruce Witkin, a record producer and former close friend of Johnny Depp, testified via video deposition in the course of the trial. They worked together on Depp's band The Hollywood Vampires and had known Depp closely from 1984 until recently. Witkin knew Depp closely because Witkin's sister-in-law was Depp's first wife, Laurie Ann Allison, who he was married to from 1983 to 1985. Witkin said, "We were friends until about 4 years ago. I considered him my best friend. We were brothers. We have a lot in common." Asked about Depp's personal physician, Dr. Kipper, more about him later, Witkin said, "I don't have a strong opinion of Dr. Kipper. He was a doctor brought on, I believe, to help him get sober. He was a sober doctor. I thought it was a scam. I thought it was a complete rip-off, but that's just me." Witkin was shown a text that says him saying, "I'm really worried about him and this Dr. Kipper." Asked what about it, Witkin said, "I didn't trust this guy." Witkin was asked if he considered Depp romantic. Witkin said, "Yes, I think so, just by the way I've seen him act," adding that there was intensity and jealousy in his relationships. He said, "The jealousy goes all the way back to my sister-in-law. Definitely has a jealous streak in him. Jealousy is a narcissistic trait. Doesn't mean that somebody's a narcissist, but it's a significant indicator." Witkin said that when Depp was younger, he was jealous of actor Nicolas Cage and ate his pop star Adam Ant because Depp's ex-wife knew him. He said there were a few moments of jealousy with Depp's ex, Vanessa Paradis, which Witkin called ridiculous. A lot of it was in his head and not in reality, Witkin said. If Witkin's evidence is correct, that might suggest the paranoia of a narcissist. Witkin agreed that Depp was also jealous when it came to Amber Heard. There were a couple of mentions. If she was doing a movie with some guy, Witkin said if she was on a film or doing something he couldn't be around to see what was going on, he'd work himself up. Is this a reaction to the absence of the ability to assert control? It's deep-rooted issues he's dealing with, nothing to do with Amber. That's my opinion. Witkin said that one time he saw bruises on Heard's upper arm and that it looked like a grab, not a punch. Witkin said that Depp told him that sobering up wasn't his cup of tea. He said he didn't believe in a higher power, he was going to do it his own way. According to Witkin, Depp's feelings about Heard were not so much anger as confusion and sadness. The record producer said that he'd seen Depp doing drugs with other Hollywood vampire bandmates, including Joe Perry, who he did cocaine with in 2016 on tour. Witkin said the first time he saw Depp do cocaine was in 2014 and was quite surprised, as when we were kids he hated that stuff, but after that I said, "Why are you doing that?" He hid it for me for a long time until 2016. Asked why their friendship ended, Witkin said, "Honestly, I don't know. Somehow I started to feel a distance. End of 2017, we had a gig, I saw him, but he's really distant and fucked up. He wrote me this weird text saying I stabbed him in the back and badmouthed him, just cut me off, can't get through to him, didn't return text, nothing. I think there's some people behind the scenes talking shit about me because everyone tried to position themselves as his best friend. There were some lies and bullshit said about me, which he believed." Witkin added that people on the payroll for Depp wouldn't say much. They don't want to lose their jobs. He said it's a strange thing around people like him. Everybody wants something. Is it the case that Depp was showing paranoia? An assertion of control through withdrawal by cutting Mr. Witkin off? Or was it simply the case that his emotional empathy for Mr. Witkin was eroded as a consequence of the shit-talking that Witkin himself identified was possibly going on? Finally, in this section, we get another glance at the behaviour of Johnny Depp with regard to comments he made about the city of Wichita. Depp once threw Wichita, Kansas, under the bus during his press rounds for the Rum Diary. In an effort to defend the flick, which was widely regarded as one of the actor's bigger box office flops, he told the Guardian newspaper, "I believe that this film, regardless of what it makes in, Wichita, Kansas this week, which is probably about $13, doesn't make any difference." Depp added, "I think it's an intelligent film, and a lot of times outside the big cities in the States, they don't want that." Residents of Wichita, which has a population just shy of 390,000 people, were apparently displeased with Depp's assumption that they weren't smart enough for the film. Local cinema owner Bill Warren even flatly told the Wichita Eagle that what every other resident was probably thinking. "That's just sour grapes. Last time I heard it didn't do well in New York either. It wasn't a very entertaining movie, period." This response, dismissiveness, and essentially smearing the residents of a city as being unintelligent, is this a reaction to a threat to control posed by poor reviews about his film, and therefore he lashes out in this manner? You, again, need to make a determination on the evidence. As the evidence continues to stack up and starts to paint a particular picture, we will now address the financial position of Johnny Depp. The finances of somebody who may well be a narcissist is worth examining. The finances of somebody that's empathic, naturally also, are worth examining to see how they conduct themselves financially, how they behave with that. Is there an inability to regulate their finances? Are they always borrowing from people? Do they engage in lending people regardless? Do they allow other people to freeload? Is the financial largesse on display? Many of these are indicators of both narcissism and empathy. We will be exploring them again in detail. Join me in part 13.